Isosceles and equilateral triangles. After watching this video, I will be able to apply theorems on isosceles and equilateral triangles to find missing information. In the previous lesson, we talked about isosceles triangles, which is any triangle that has at least two congruent sides. Those two congruent sides would be considered the legs of an isosceles triangle. And the angle with sides that are the legs is called the vertex angle. So that angle that connects the two legs is called the vertex angle. Then the other two angles are known as base angles. And that third side that is different and is not congruent to the two legs of the isosceles is known as the base. So we have a special relationship within isosceles triangles, which is if we are told that the two legs are congruent, then automatically the two base angles will also be congruent. And then we have vice versa of the theorem. If the two base angles are congruent, then automatically the two legs of the isosceles will also be congruent. So we can use this idea of isosceles triangles to find missing information. So here in our diagram, we are told that these two angles are congruent. So these would be considered the base angles, which means that the two legs are also congruent, making this an isosceles triangle. Therefore, x has to equal 8. So again, we have this triangle that has two sides congruent. So that means it is an isosceles, and therefore the two base angles have to also be congruent. So x is going to equal 65 degrees. We also have a special relationship with equilateral triangles. And we have said before that every equilateral triangle is also equiangular, which means that if all the three sides are congruent, then the three angles are also congruent. Furthermore, each of these angles of an equilateral triangle, the angle measurement has to always be 60 degrees. So not only will all the angles be congruent, but all the angles will be congruent and be 60 degrees. Doesn't matter how large the triangle is, how small the triangle is. If it's equilateral, then all angles will be 60 degrees. So we can use this relationship to find missing information. Because we are told that all three sides are congruent because of the tick marks, then this is an equilateral triangle. So all angle measurements will automatically be 60 degrees. So x equals 60. Here we are told that all angles are congruent to each other. So this means this is an equiangular triangle. So all of the sides will also be congruent because it must be equilateral. So 8 has to equal x plus 15. And then I will subtract 15 on both sides to solve for x. So x equals -7.